We are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. I am Edgar. I am the host. The Snug crew is here, Mr. Blood and Tommy. And the rumors are true. We just saw probably one of the, if not the biggest SmackDown of the whole entire year, where we were expected to see John Cena, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and AJ Lee. That was the big question mark. Is AJ Lee actually going to show up? And she did. And holy shit, you guys, it was one hell of a moment, I got to say, even for me, too, who hasn't really been a big fan of this whole thing with Becky Lynch getting involved in the CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud. But the way that all of this went down tonight was pretty great. And we're going to be going over all of that and everything else that we saw tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. How we feeling tonight, fellas, after this SmackDown that we just saw?
I'm on top of the fucking world, man. AJ Lee was my favorite wrestler. When I was watching wrestling, my first ever favorite women's wrestler was Lita. And that was what really gravitated me towards the anti-style divas or women's wrestlers at the time. So I instantly gravitated towards Lita and Paige and AJ Lee, Ashley Massaro, may she rest in peace. And AJ was like a massive like win for me in the fandom of women's wrestling, because she didn't wrestle like the other girls. She wrestled like a wrestler. She reminded me of CM Punk. She was kind of pop punk. She wore Chuck Taylors to the freaking ring. Chuck Taylors were my favorite shoes in high school, and they still are to this day. She was kind of punk rock. Everything about her, I was like, dude, this is great. And people forget at one point, she was the most over act in the entire company for over a year, even more than Cena. She was more over than him. So when she left in 2015, after the company kind of mistreated her a bit after Punk's exit, she was there for another year. I never thought we'd see her again. And in interviews for years, she said, I'll never say never, because once you say never, you do it anyway, and then you wind up looking silly. And lo and behold, just like Punk, if Punk was the proof for WWE after everything that happened all those years ago in AEW and this and that, if Punk is the poster child for never say never, AJ Lee, man, just re-solidified that, because what a moment. I'm on cloud 9, 10 years to the day, or not to the day, but almost to the, like right after Mania last, or 10 years ago. So for me, this is like a fucking win. This SmackDown, best of the year.
Like, my vocal cords are dead. I'm still fucking shaking from that. That is how big of a moment that actually was. But we will get more into depth about that towards the end.
Actually, I would like to get started there since we're already on this topic. We usually like to start, from beginning to the end, but fuck it, let's just get it out of the way now since, it was the biggest moment of SmackDown. And we saw Becky Lynch show up earlier in the show, so we knew she was going to be there. She had a backstage segment with Nick Aldis, but I wasn't sure if Seth Rollins was going to be there or not until his music hit in that final segment. And Seth Rollins does the big introduction. He introduces his hot Irish wife, or whatever he said, the man, and great intro by Seth Rollins. And they both have championships, and I can't stand either of them. And I'm like, good God. But the way that they went about this, I thought was really amazing. Like, my heart was literally racing with the anticipation that they built throughout this entire show. They waited until the last moment, the final segment, and, Becky Lynch comes out. She's cutting a heel promo, and she's getting the crowd all riled up. And then CM Punk music interrupts Becky Lynch, and I'm like, finally, okay. And then I'm thinking, how are they going to do this? Seth Rollins is standing in the crowd, and CM Punk is like, this has nothing to do with you, Becky. Just stay out of it. This is between me and your coward husband, who's out there hiding behind the audience, behind you, behind Paul Heyman. And that's when Becky Lynch starts slapping up CM Punk again. But actually, before that, CM Punk was like, look, we're in Chicago. I got people. I'm pretty sure he said I got shooters, but I must have misheard that. But He's like, I can call my sister, I can call Bailey, I can call Rhea. Like, I got people to come whip your ass, Becky. Becky started slapping up CM Punk. CM Punk leaves the ring. He walks to the other side, and AJ Lee's music hit, and that place fucking exploded, y'all. Wow, dude. And after seeing the physicality, after AJ Lee did her like classic entrance, classic AJ Lee skip into the ring, Becky Lynch sold it like $1,000,000. She was shocked, she was scared, she was spooked. And AJ Lee got her hands on fucking dirty old Becky Lynch. It was one hell of a segment, guys. What did you guys think about how WWE did all this?
I think this was one of the smartest decisions they made, specifically even with the setup of the show. A 3-match card, correct? 3 matches, okay? Which we're going to get into. 2 title matches and a straight-up singles match on a 2-hour show, which normally has like 4 matches or 5. What worked here was that they started with something massive at the beginning of the show, gave you something to easily digest with the women's match, along with a straight up singles match for a feud most people half the time forget even goes on, right? And no matter what happened throughout the show, you knew fans were going to leave happy, because no matter what happens, start to fucking 3 quarters, it is literally show business. And in show business, the old saying goes, it's how you leave them, folks. And they left them elated, out of breath, sore-throated, and lightheaded, brother. I wasn't even in the arena. My throat hurts. I'm lightheaded. I'm giddy. I can feel the adrenaline rush coming down from my excitement. I even recorded my live reaction, which is now live on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. But this was exactly how to do it. This was perfect. Worst kept secret on purpose. I now fully believe they leaked that shit through the WWE Shop's Twitter page on purpose to build that anticipation. I 100% believe it now. And I love Michael Cole's commentary call. The girl who made crazy cool. Because remember, AJ, there's a reason that Becky was shaking. AJ is unpredictable like Punk, and AJ is even crazier than Punk. AJ is more unpredictable than Punk. She's more of a loose cannon than Punk. She's got a worse temper than Punk. If anybody remembers her last run, she would go off on anyone and everyone, friend or foe. She was best friends with a wrestler named Caitlyn, who was touted to be the next big thing at one point. She done smacked the taste out of her mouth one night, even though they were fucking tag teaming. Like, you mess with her, you get on her bad side, she's going to make you pay for it. She fucked over every male wrestler that she had a storyline with that she thought was doing her dirty, and she screwed them all. Like, I mean, made them lose title matches, fucked them out of big wins and number 1 contenderships. She was so fucking conceited. So imagine what she'll do to the person who smacked her fucking husband in the face like 30 fucking times. Imagine what she'll do to you when she gets her hands on you. Because you thought, oh, shit was sweet out here. Nah, the only thing that was sweet was that entrance music not being fucked up by Def Rebel and that skip to the fucking ring. And by the way, girl packed on fucking muscle because she was not that ripped the last time she was here. She was very lean. She's ripped now. So she looks like AJ Lee ate AJ Lee, and she's going to eat Becky alive at Wrestlepalooza.
The best response I've seen so far has actually come from Naomi herself. About 10 minutes ago, she posted on Twitter, "Caffeine perks you up, but me, I'm some natural dynamite. AJ Lee, welcome back, my little dynamite. Give 'em hell." We all know that give 'em hell when it comes to AJ is a damn understatement. Because good luck, Becky. Good luck. There ain't no way that this is going to be an easy fight against AJ fucking Lee when you're going head to head with her. There ain't no doubt about it. That is going to be a very difficult match for Becky Lynch when inevitably that happens. But I would not be surprised if within the next week we get, hey, mixed tag match will be her return match. That in itself would be great. The way WWE did it, absolutely perfect. I saw Rollins come out. I'm like, okay, there you are. There's one. Becky comes out. There's two. Then Punk. All right, Triple H. One more person. If anyone else comes out, you know damn well they're going to get a fuck ton of hate. Mm-hmm. So choose who you pick wisely. Then AJ came out. I'm like, fuck yes. My voice died the moment I heard the words light it up. My vocal cords are still dead from all of that. That is how big that moment actually was. And it's only going to get bigger throughout time within the next week, as this is the only thing that people are going to talk about for quite some damn time.
Yeah, 10 years, dude. 10 years is a really fucking long time, especially for someone that the wrestling fans, we didn't expect to see AJ Lee back ever again. I mean, it's been that long, and it just goes to show that anything can happen, and, you know, all the stars are aligning, and, you know, with CM Punk returning, and, you know, even going all the way back to Triple H being the one in charge, a lot of shit has been changing that's making all these things that were impossible at one point possible now. You know, from CM Punk coming back, now AJ Lee coming back, and it's just like, holy shit, man. It's a pretty crazy time to be a pro wrestling fan now, right, Blood?
I mean, legitimately, I can't wait to see the behind the scenes of this on the WWE Unreal Season 2, because you know two of the focal points, like I said the other night, are going to be Seth Rollins' Ruse of the Century and the return of AJ Lee if she were to come back, and she came back. And I'm a huge believer now that one of the massive proponents of getting her back, and perhaps one of the mass proponents that helped her make the decision to come back, because she was very disinterested for a long while, because this is not the first time they tried to get her back and she said no, was the Royal Rumble earlier this year, when everybody, the anticipation, the speculation, because CM Punk kept bringing her up, you know, or saying hi to her on TV for a while. There was speculation. This was the year. This was the year. It had to be this year. And everybody was like 30% of the audience was excited it was Nikki Bella. But at number 30, the remainder of us were so deflated that it wasn't AJ. If you remember right before the Rumble, so many people posting, if AJ Lee returns tonight, yada, yada, yada. Me, I even did a funny video where I skipped around my office to her fucking entrance music, me, when number 30 hits. And I legit did a whole like funny dance video to it. Like, and then it didn't happen. So I think that weekend back earlier this year really, really started getting WWE on that narrative of what would it take to get her back.
Right.
And her probably watching the Rumble, because Punk was at the show, and in the show, she was probably like, oh shit, man, they really want me back. God, what would it take for me to say yes? You know?
Yeah.
And the stars aligned, fucking bro. And in the year of our Lord and Savior, 2025, it has happened. And is it not crazy that the two biggest fucking returns of the last 5 years to professional wrestling, both of them were away from WWE for the exact same amount of time?
It is crazy. And
I
they're
always married to each other.
And I always hear like wrestlers say, well, you know, it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time. And I never really understood what that meant, but I think I kind of do now, because, you know, if AJ Lee returned at the Rumble last year, or whenever it was, that would have been a great moment, right? The people would have been happy, right? But this way that they did it now was such a bigger moment compared to just like a surprise entrance to number 30.
I agree, because it lets the moment simmer versus the entrance is the moment. And then they kind of wrestle around each other for a little bit until she gets eliminated.
Mhm.
This was like, no. There's a story behind this. There is real intent and anger and an intensity in the story. There's
anticipation.
There's comeuppets to be had on that of Becky Lynch. There is a PLE or a special event. I'm not exactly sure what they're classifying Wrestlepalooza on the 20th, but there is an event coming up around the corner that feeds this story. So it makes this return even more important. Like Punk had to literally dig into his back fucking pocket here and pull the stars and goddamn universe out of his ass. It feels like heaven and earth got moved to make this happen. That's why it's so special. And I agree with you. Rumble would have been a fun moment in time, a fun pop in an entrance. But the moment all the action starts happening, moments passed. This is like, no. We're going to end a whole fucking show on it after we gave you Cena, after we gave you Lesnar, after we gave you this person and that person. We're going to send you home. So you have to let this shit sit and cook in your brain for a whole fucking week until Monday Night Raw. And now we're even more anticipated because now you're hoping, oh my God, is she going to show up to Monday Night Raw? Like,
yeah, dude,
this was genius. Well done, WWE.
And it's in Chicago. And, it was just perfect. Even for people like myself who like wasn't really feeling this whole thing from the beginning. Now, there's so much hype around this now that I want to see what's going to happen next. I'm actually interested in Becky now.
It makes it hard to resist that wrestling fan inside you that goes, okay, you got me. All right.
Yeah, dude, that was me. I was like,
I wanted to be crabby, but I can't help it. This is too fucking cool.
It was cool, man. It was a dope moment.
There would not have been as many people in seats tonight if it wasn't for all of the hints that have been sprinkled throughout the last couple of weeks. And then they also started the show off with a little clue to it as well with Cena, which we will get to. But Cena said something to the crowd like, you guys bring people back. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And then the AJ Lee chant started going on.
The moment Punk literally was talking to Becky, and Becky said, you don't say that name. No, they can say the name AJ Lee. The first time her name in character has been said by Punk the entire time he's been back to WWE, because he says, and by the way, April says hello. Oh, by the way, my wife says hello. He's never outright straight up said in the last 3 years, AJ Lee's name, full blown, trademark name. That's the moment I knew, oh my God. And I went, babe, can you record my reaction, please? Immediately.
Yeah, dude. And, you want to talk about sending the crowd home happy. Like, this was the only way to do it because everyone was expecting it. Everyone was hoping for it. Like, if WWE did not deliver AJ Lee,
they would have.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
And I said this on Soto's live stream because he called me up during the commercial break along with a couple other guys. And I said, it has to be AJ or no one else. I said, the only reason you would put this at the end of the show is for two reasons. One, you want to send the fans home with the greatest moment of their entire fucking year so far, live in attendance for the return. Because now those people can say, I was there when she came back. Or the other reason, you put it at the end because it's not AJ Lee and the fans can't hijack the show because it's the end of the show. So I was like, those are the only two reasons they're saving that shit. And lo and behold, my buddy, we got the fucking honey. So
yeah, we all know it was AJ or nobody. If anybody else came out, they would have been getting ruined. The biggest heat of their entire career.
Talk about the easiest way to ruin someone's entire character and momentum and push with the audience. Even someone like Rhea Ripley coming out, even though the fans cheered because Punk mentioned her name, I could get the Eradicator. That's because they were just like, that's right. He has a lot of people who could beat your ass, but there's only one person we want to see, though. Yeah. And if it had been any of those names he had mentioned, let's say Rhea came out. Rhea's not bulletproof, brother. If Rhea had come out
Nah.
there and it wasn't AJ, the fans would have popped for half a second and turned on her a second later.
And
And for people like, that's not true.
The building.
Yeah, if people were to go, that's not true. Let me bring your minds back to 2015 Royal Rumble while we're on that subject. Roman Reigns was one of the most over acts in the company for 6 fucking months leading into that Royal Rumble. In the anticipation of Daniel Bryan returning and being an entrant, which was a rumor, much like earlier this year with AJ at the Rumble. And when the number 30 entrant wound up being Roman Reigns, they turned on the entire show and booed everybody else in the fucking match. As soon as Roman was there, they booed Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
They booed a returning Rey Mysterio, by the way, at the point. He had been gone for years. He returned that Rumble. They booed him because he wasn't Daniel Bryan. The fans will turn on anyone if you get their hopes up too much and you don't deliver. This was the smart, I hope, and like I said the other night, I hope to God, whatever number AJ asked for, I hope it was a nice round number because they're about to make her contract back in about 2 weeks' time on merch alone.
Yeah, man, it was a perfect setup. But I felt like this whole entire show was perfectly set up for many reasons, and we'll get into it. But I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing, hopefully they do what's that Netflix show called again? The
Unreal?
On this, because I want to see
I do too.
whose hands was all up in this to set this up. I guarantee it was CM Punk, probably the main guy.
Come on, babe.
No, but like there's the way that this was all done and put together, like I just have a feeling that it has CM Punk or Paul Heyman or someone in creative in there who got their hands all over this and was like, what if we did it this way?
Yeah.
And it was just like, boom, it just clicked.
Keep in mind too, here's the thing about AJ. She's also like a writer and a producer and a director.
Mm-hmm.
And, AJ Lee, specifically from the aspect of her being a writer, she has that bug being a storyteller. Mm-hmm. If the story is right, if it's interesting enough, something grabbed her interest in whatever story they wanted to tell, that she, as a creative individual, couldn't resist the urge to be a part of telling that story. And I guarantee you that was probably the precipice. It was the crux of probably what made that final decision. Because if you've ever been a creative person of any kind, like you are an artist, like I'm an artist, okay? Like I'm an actor, I'm this. I will say no to something. I don't care how much money you're offering me. If I think I don't want to do that, that seems stupid. It's uninteresting to me. I'll say no to it. I have dozens of people trying to get me to do their projects every fucking day on my socials. A lot of the shit I'm like, no. And they're like, I'll pay you this, I'll pay you that. No. Because creatively, it doesn't satisfy me. So with her, it's like, my husband's already we're both millionaires.
Yeah.
You could throw all the money in the world you want me. Challenge me. And that's probably what happened.
Not me, y'all. If y'all want to pay me to do stupid shit, I'll do it.
Where do I sign? You can take it out of my ass.
Yeah, dude. But going back to what I said earlier about this whole show just being perfectly set up. I was referring to the opening match, which was John Cena versus Sami Zayn. But first, John Cena was the one that opened up the show, and he made it clear it is, in fact, John Cena's final SmackDown ever, which was a full circle moment because it was in Chicago. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, when John Cena debuted versus Kurt Angle, and that was the start of the Ruthless Aggression era. So it was quite an incredible moment also that John Cena's final SmackDown is in Chicago, the city that he debuted. And I was expecting Brock Lesnar to come out and interrupt John Cena, but instead it was Sami Zayn. And again, they took us back to, 10 years ago. This whole fucking SmackDown, there was so much nostalgia from 10 years ago. Sami Zayn comes out and Sami Zayn is getting booed. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Because he's interrupting John Cena. He's in the middle of the ring with John Cena, who the people are crazy over right now. So we got to see that side of Sami Zayn. They kind of put him in that situation of a heel, kind of. At least that was my impression of things. And yeah, Sami Zayn pretty much challenged John Cena for a match. He was like, "Look, 10 years ago, I debuted versus you, Cena. You were the United States champion. 10 years later, now I'm the United States champion, and I want to return that favor to you, Cena. Let's do it right here, right now, tonight, me and you for the United States championship." What a fucking crazy, like, turn of fucking events. Like, this is like, you can't make this shit up. Like, how the fuck does this even happen just have a moment that it's just a full circle moment. And I thought that was crazy how it all just fell into place. Everything just fell into place here with Cena and Sami Zayn. They had one hell of a fucking match. But let's start there, you guys. What did you guys think about the John Cena promo and the match that he had with Sami Zayn tonight?
I thought the promo was great. I love that a lot of what happened tonight was all about winding the clock back to 10 years ago, right? From Brock Lesnar 10 years ago to John Cena and Sami Zayn 10 years ago to AJ Lee leaving 10 years ago. You know, like a lot of this stuff it's like the nostalgia factory, but in the best kind of wholesome, genuine, like it's a feel good way. Most of tonight was feel good. And I now fully realize exactly why they moved Sami Zayn over to SmackDown. They had 100% intent of having this match with John Cena to turn back the clock 10 years ago.
For the title.
It's exactly why they moved Sami back over to SmackDown and got it off of Solo as quick as possible. So we can't really say the stars have aligned. They were planning this shit. The moment they probably booked this show in Chicago, you know, weeks or months ago, whenever they pinned down the stadium or the arena, they were like, "This is what we should and try to get done that evening. This plan, this plan, this plan, this plan." So again, I'm excited like you to see when WWE Unreal comes out to see what the timeline was for this SmackDown, because I'm sure they will go over it. But the match, fun as fuck. I mean, come on. You go to a SmackDown show knowing you're going to at least get to see Cena cut a promo for his final ever SmackDown. You're not expecting them to give you a match. So these people are getting tonight, we bitched about them ticket prices quite a bit several weeks ago. Tonight, show was worth the price of admission. Even if you know, two of the other matches were all right, this one match, awesome. What follows it, awesome. The ending, amazing. Take my fucking money. I wish I was there in person.
And that's not even counting the dark matches either.
Exactly. And the dark matches they'll get. If I could have teleported to Chicago tonight and kicked some fucking 90-year-old man out of his seat over the fucking rafters and stolen his seat, I would have. I don't care if I'm sitting behind a pole. Like, great. I mean, they started fucking strong and they ended even stronger. That's how you do it.
I look at this, I'm like, suddenly the most confusing trade makes sense. That trade being LA Knight for Sami Zayn. That whole switch. Suddenly, with this match happening, it all makes sense. And with the fact that this was the final SmackDown for John Cena, it just makes sense entirely why they made that trade now and why they had Solo drop that United States title to Sami Zayn. We were all bitching about that when it happened, but now it makes sense because that is the type of match that Sami Zayn debuted with. It was a United States Open challenge by John Cena. It was the exact same thing. Sami Zayn brought it up tonight that he wanted to do an open challenge, but he wanted it specifically to be against Cena. Because of that, from 10 years ago, this entire SmackDown was surrounded by 10 years ago. That specific number. And honestly, that is one of the best decisions there. I absolutely love this match and how it went down. It took me a bit, like mid-match. I'm like, wait. This would be the part where Brock would come in. Here he comes. He's going to interrupt this shit.
The moment that they made that match official, I was like, okay, I guess Brock's confirmed from them rumors. Because, like, there's no way Sami drops it a week after winning it. And there's no fucking way Cena picks it up when he's leaving the brand. So
especially with the match being next weekend between him and Cena.
Especially with this being the opener. So,
yeah.
I mean, there were so many clues here.
But yeah, this entire thing, I absolutely love this segment and this match because it started this off with the whole mindset of, wait, we should be thinking back 10 years. Who was here that could possibly return tonight? AJ at the end. It was the perfect decision to bring up 10 years so many times within a half an hour span. It was just perfect.
Yeah, this match went at least, I want to say 20 or 25 minutes. It was the better part of like the first half of the show with including the John Cena promo. And yeah, I'm kind of like you guys with the promo, you know, everything that was going on with John Cena announcing this is his final SmackDown, Sami Zayn coming out, getting booed. All of these things that were happening. The match was really good too. That got me going. I was actually thinking, oh my God, what if John Cena actually win this? This would be wild, right? It took me a while to realize, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to come out. And it was after John Cena hit the big AA on Sami Zayn from the top rope where the match, it seemed like everything stood still for a second. Both men were laying and nothing was happening. And I was like, okay, this is it. This is when Brock Lesnar comes out. And Brock Lesnar music hits. And I'm like, this makes perfect sense. Because like how you guys said it, you can't beat Cena. You can't beat Sami Zayn. So this was perfect, I thought, even though it was a little predictable. But I'm like, this is classic booking right here. This is good shit. And, you know, I saw people online that weren't liking it. Oh, what a fucking waste, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I mean, were you guys expecting to actually have a winner here? Or do you guys just don't like Brock Lesnar? Like,
those are the whiny fans. Look, I hate Brock Lesnar just as much as anybody. I can't stand that piece of shit. But this is one of those moments where, as a wrestling fan, if you've been a longtime wrestling fan, how are you going to get mad at something that you should understand? If you're smart enough to the business, a fucking 9-year-old that's watched longer than 3 years would understood someone's interfering. Because it's just like, what do you guys think they're going to do? Opening match, he loses the title after a week. Cena literally states multiple times in his promo, this is the end of my run on SmackDown. I'm done with SmackDown. This is my last night on SmackDown ever. Why on earth would he win the U.S. championship and then take it to Raw? You know what I'm saying? So you got to think with your brains and stop being such a fucking mark. Like, like think about it. Like, how would you book that? It doesn't make sense. The moment they made the match, you should have known that neither of them was going to lose. So, yeah. It's just classic booking. It makes sense. It's smart. But in turn, what did you get out of it? You got an angle set up for a match coming up in a couple weeks. Bonus. You got Sami getting to showcase just how great of a champion he can be. Another bonus. You get to see Cena wrestle on free TV. Third bonus. And the match is fucking awesome and fucking PLE quality. Fourth bonus. So shove it up your ass or blow it out your nose. Stop crying and enjoy the show when they're giving you something this good and this unique in this stage in Cena's career. Just enjoy the shit.
And
Yeah,
I
and
myself look at the whole Lesnar thing. I'm like, the only setup to this Wrestlepalooza match between the two has been his return. You have to set this type of thing up, especially when this specific show is set up to go head to head with AEW. You had to set this up more than just Brock Lesnar's return. So
yeah,
it
it's
was obvious that he was going to interfere.
it's not going head to head with AEW anymore. AEW recently moved their show earlier in the day, so that's cool. Because now I can watch both of them. But I get what you're saying, Tommy. And speaking of, the nostalgia going back 10 years, John Cena did a lot of callbacks during this match too. I'm pretty sure he hit an angle slam there during the match. He hit a GTS, he hit a spear, and he also went for an RKO, but that was countered by Sami Zayn. But John Cena looked really good tonight, didn't he?
He looked amazing. I love that he said it in an interview the other day after following Clash in Paris when they were talking about, oh, he pulled out this move, he pulled that move. And he just straight up said, I wanted to pay homage to all these great talent that I've had the privilege of working with over the years, or that I had classics with, or that I had the privilege of sharing the ring with, or that I got to help, build as stars. He's like, and I wanted to pay homage to those people. So I did as many as I could. Tonight's no different. He realizes dude's got like what now? 6 dates left. So seven. Wasn't tonight number 7? So
no, tonight was 8.
Tonight was 8. So he's got 7 dates left. One of those is the 20th of this month. His last wrestling match of his entire career is December 13th of this year at Saturday night's main event in December. Okay. You got to imagine that's his second to last appearance, because the last one is the actual farewell, probably on that next Monday Night Raw. So I don't see how much more they can squeeze into this without giving him a break sometime in this fall. So if this is to set up, you got to think we have one more appearance between now and Wrestlepalooza, so they can actually make the match, like they can talk to each other face to face in the ring. One more, then Wrestlepalooza. Great. Now we're at 5. Takes a break, maybe has one more feud, maybe one more AJ Styles, maybe he gets somebody else. Okay. That's done. Once we get to December, you got to think he's got to use a match, an appearance for the build-up, the actual fucking Saturday night's main event appearance, and then a goodbye.
Well, I don't think John Cena is going to show up to SmackDown next week. But Brock Lesnar was announced for SmackDown next week, so we might just see Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar already said, I'll see you at Wrestlepalooza, bitch. And I think that's it. I think we see Brock Lesnar next week.
Okay, so
then the match is on the weekend.
So then they're saving an appearance, because you got to think 7 appearances. 3 of those is whoever he sets his promo up with, the last person he faces, Saturday night's main event, and then the farewell. That's 3 of the 7. That tells me he's only got one more feud after this.
Shout out to Elwood. Shout out to Matt. What's up, fellas? Thank you guys for joining us.
But I think he's got one feud after this, and that's it.
Possible. It could be. And it's probably going to be AJ Styles, but we'll see. The last thing I want to ask you guys about this match between Sami Zayn and John Cena is about Sami Zayn, because they put him in this situation on the opposite side of John Cena, so Sami Zayn was automatically getting booed here, even though just last week everyone was so happy that Sami Zayn beat Solo Sikoa and became United States champion. This week he was getting booed, so we got to see a little bit of that dark side that we've been wanting to see from Sami Zayn. And I gotta ask, do you guys think this was like a little test run for Sami, as like, hey, we're gonna put him in this heel situation and see how the fans react and see how he looks like being technically Sami Zayn was a heel tonight, was he not?
I would disagree with that statement. I think that it's just because it's Chicago. It's next to Philly. It's probably their most vocal audience in all of the United States. I think that if anybody came out there and interrupted John Cena while he's talking to the city, he's saying, "I'll never see you again while I'm in this active role as a professional wrestler." I think because the fans were having such a moment with him, anybody that came out would have got booed. Except if AJ Lee just for no reason at all was like, "I'm going to return right now," then they would have lost their minds. But anybody else whom they see on a week-to-week basis would have gotten booed for coming out to interrupt him, except for CM Punk. He's probably the only other person because that's his city. But I think that the moment he got in there, he got the fans back on his side immediately. He's like, "I respect you. I want your permission to, have this open challenge the way you did, and I want to have the honor of having a match with you." He 100% was consummate babyface. Not a piece
I
of
don't know,
anything
man. There were literal Sami Zayn sucks chants during the match.
Again, that's because it's Chicago. They want to see John Cena win a championship in front of them live on TV. So they're rooting for Cena because they just want to see him win another title. They want to be spoiled. That's the thing. So chalk it up to fans just being spoiled in the moment.
All right, let's move on to the next match. It was Aleister Black versus Damian Priest, and we kind of bitched about last week when they were supposed to be. It was supposed to be Aleister Black versus R-Truth. R-Truth flew to the wrong city, and instead it was Damian Priest. They had to pull apart, and that was it. So I was actually looking forward to this match, and then fucking Aleister Black jumps Damian Priest before the match again during the entrance, and I'm like, we just saw that last week again. I'm like, are we actually going to get a match this time? Or because it looked like Damian Priest was getting assisted on by the trainers. I'm like, oh, okay, so now Damian Priest is going to be too hurt to wrestle, and I'm like, why? Like, I understand why they want to do jump starts and like, oh, well, Damian Priest attacked me last week, so this time I'm going to attack him again. I get that. But like, the whole point of a wrestling match is I'm going to get even in the ring after the bell rings. I don't understand why they can't just be like, all right, I'm just going to wait until this bell rings and then I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. No, it's like, oh, I'm going to jump him before the bell. And then this could have been such a great match. The way that they did this also tells me this wasn't the match. They're gonna have more matches, that's good. But I'm like, this match, it wasn't bad once it actually started. It was really good, but it could have been a lot better. But this is just the beginning, I feel like, of Damian Priest and Aleister Black. So I'm interested to see where this is gonna go. But what did you guys think about this match?
I think they're just trying to build out a card for Wrestlepalooza. Because we know we have Cena versus Lesnar. We're most likely like 99% sure getting AJ Lee Punk versus Becky and Seth. You got to think we're also getting Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky at Wrestlepalooza as well. So I think they're just trying to figure out which matches are going to belong on that show to fill out that card, because I'm imagining it's going to be a 5-match card, Triple H's classic PLE. So this would make number 4. So that means we need a number 5. So I'm thinking this is going to be a blow-off match in 2 weeks at Wrestlepalooza. That's what it feels like to me. That means next week they're going to have a whole altercation again. Hey, this, that, and the third, whatever. Maybe they jump the other one. Maybe Damian gets some comeuppance. Then on the Friday before Wrestlepalooza, one more promo, one more jump. Maybe Aleister gets the upper hand, and now it's the rubber match at fucking at Wrestlepalooza, and then this hopefully ends this feud, because it's already been boring for me because I keep forgetting it's even going on, which sucks because I think of the year Damian had last year, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? I look at the year Drew had last year, and I'm like, come on, why are these guys not in the main events? Why are these guys not challenging Cody fucking? Oh, Cody's filming a movie. That's right. So, I'm just like, of course. So the match was okay. It was decent. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great either. It was there. I would say this is the thing is that tonight regardless of how these matches went, I genuinely feel like WWE could do no wrong as long as they delivered on AJ. If they delivered on AJ, it truly felt to me like, I don't care how bored I am at this match or the match after this we're going to talk about in a second. If you deliver AJ, this fucking SmackDown to me will be a very biased 5 out of 5. Like 10 out of 10. Give me AJ. I'm biased as fuck. This will be a perfect SmackDown, best SmackDown of the whole year. And they did that. So to me, this is the best SmackDown of the whole fucking year so far. This match, it's fine. I don't think anybody cares about this feud anymore. I know I don't.
All right, just really quick. We got a few comments here. Matt says, "Can I have a Penta toy?" Oh, this one right here. I got that one signed. I don't know if I want to give. Actually, one day I probably would like to do a giveaway for our listeners. I think that'd be cool, but I don't know about that one.
Not the signed ones. Fuck that shit.
No, I mean I don't know if it's worth it.
You could go for like 500 on eBay.
If it's worth it, I'd be down to give some shit away. He also says, "Who won?" Yeah, that's a good question.
It was
Aleister Black won with the black mass on Damian Priest
because he grabbed the ref as a distraction, shoved the ref into Damian. Damian tried to carefully move I think the ref's name is Joey Tran or something like that. Tried to carefully move him out of the way, and then he got black masked right in the face.
Yeah, so there's that. Go ahead, Tommy.
The fact that question even had to be asked in the first place proves how not good this match was. How absolutely forgettable this match was.
Maybe they didn't watch the match or the show.
Yeah, the point still stands. This match was not good at all. Starting off with the attack from Aleister. I look at that, I'm like, why? You're guaranteed a TV match right now. Why are you attacking this man and risking that? Makes no sense. But I do have a feeling like this match will be moved to Wrestlepalooza as well. But this whole thing, I look at it, I'm like, ugh. I wish this match was better. But it was not good at all. It was mediocre at best. Like, knowing how Damian Priest is and knowing how Aleister Black is, again, on paper, put these two together, great match. Unfortunately, this one, with the way it was set and all of that, it just wasn't. It was mediocre. I honestly wish it was better than it was.
Yeah, because it was like, oh, well, Damian Priest is hurt now, and Damian Priest can't really do everything that he's capable of doing and blah, 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 blah. I'm just afraid because they're doing all these jump starts and attacking each other left and right outside of the ring before the matches or whatever, that they're going to be like, all right, we're going to have a fucking no DQ match, but they're going to call it something else. I don't know, with kendo sticks and shit like that. So
another Mountain Dew pitch black match.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that, but we'll see. We got to see someone wrestle tonight that we haven't seen wrestle in a really long time. The Women's United States Champion, Julia, faced and defended her championship versus Mi Chin, and they had a match. The fact that they're not really presenting Julia a whole lot on these TV shows, and then they put her against Mi Chin, with no disrespect to Mi Chin, she tries her best, but I'm just not invested in her. I'm not interested in her at all. I can't honestly say, man, remember that one match Mi Chin had with so-and-so? That was really great, because I can't tell you not one match. So I was not too thrilled about this one to begin with. I didn't expect Julia to lose. The way this match ended too was really sloppy, I thought, in my opinion. So it was whatever to me. Julia retained her championship, and I'm not too thrilled with this championship run. who's next for Julia? Are they going to continue this whole thing with Michin? I don't know.
I don't
But
care.
what did you guys think about this?
I don't care. Like legitimately speaking here, you could have just left this fucking title on Zelina. Here's at this point, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been treated the exact same. Like for me, I'm at the point with most of Smack. And again, tonight is the one night where WWE gets a pass for me where you could do no wrong. I don't care how any of the rest of the night turned out. You gave me AJ Lee. All is forgiven. But as far as that is concerned, if I'm looking at it as an actual analyst, if I'm looking at it as, someone who sits here and breaks down professional wrestling, intelligently, then I have to and say that the entire women's division on SmackDown revolving around the world title and the mid-card title are absolute horseshit. I am fucking furious that I now have to sit through Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill as they both try match 2 with the paperweight championship on the fucking line because Tiffany never defends the motherfucker, nor does Julia. And it feels like to me that these titles, reigns, are specifically just being padded out. Tell me why the women's tag team championships have been defended more this year than the motherfucking women's world title and the fucking United States title combined. I am sick and tired. Fuck the Intercontinental Championship, the women's. Okay? The championship, I mean, oh my fucking God. Like, that's been defended more this year. Like, I don't understand the reasoning here. Like, since Tiffany won that motherfucker before Mania, since then, she has had less than 10 defenses, less than actually, I think 7 or 8, less than that. It's been like maybe 6. And the last person she defended against was Jade. Like, and that was how long ago? Was that SummerSlam or was that Saturday night's main event?
SummerSlam.
So it's just like, dude, that was a month ago, a month and 3 days ago, because that was August 2nd. So what the fuck, bro? And the same thing with this. If you're not, how on earth does Becky Lynch's IC title get defended on PLEs, but we can't get fucking Julia on one? Why was Julia not defending that fucking title at Clash in fucking Paris? But we could get Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella that no one asked for and no one wanted. But I know for a fact Julia versus Michin would have at least been an actual better wrestling match. And that's coming from someone who's flat out said Michin has no heat in any direction, and still she can have a better wrestling match than Nikki Bella. So
yeah,
it's
she can.
It's hard to care.
Yeah. If Julia was gonna defend versus Michin at Clash in Paris instead of Becky versus Nikki, I don't know if I would pick Julia versus Michin to replace that match. I don't know.
I would give,
especially
Michin
after seeing what they did tonight.
Well, yeah, and that's fair. But guess what? Nikki botched the fuck out of that match too. So, yeah. I mean, to me, it's just a matter of, if you don't know what to do with these titles, if these titles are literally just here so you can rack up an accolade, the whole point is that the title is supposed to be made more important by the person holding it. Okay. But the person holding it barely is booked and no one cares. And half the time, no one remembers that she works for the company until she's out on TV. And the title's never seen or defended almost ever. So how is anybody supposed to care about this division or this championship? So in that case, leave the women's IC title, which is the only one that has main eventers fucking going for it, by the way, and drop the fucking US title off of the brand. Just get rid of it. Retire it. Just leave one women's mid-card title for both rosters to go after, just like the women's tag titles. Because at this fucking point, there's no reason that US championship exists. There's nothing justifying it anymore.
I still remember when Julia showed up first in NXT and they made such a big deal about her because
huge deal.
And now I'm like, these matches that she's having, like she's definitely wrestling the WWE style now.
Yeah.
And you know, she's having these competitive matches versus Meech, but I'm like, something tells me that they're just I don't want to say they're holding Julia down or holding her
They're
back,
holding her back for sure.
but this was not a good match by
Because
Julia tonight.
I'm sorry, what a year a difference makes, right? Julia versus fucking Stephanie Vicaire last year when she came in, that was a massive fucking deal. NXT audience was crazy for that shit. They loved that shit. A year later, it's almost the best thing about Julia on the main roster is her fucking entrance. Outside of that, no one gives a fuck. And they're trying to give Meechin, you know, they keep trying to give Meechin, you know, chances to go out there and showcase her stuff because the girl's been there. She's trying her ass off, man. She's trying her ass off, but they haven't given her any story or character to connect with anybody. It's not like they're giving her promos to go out there and try to connect with the audience either to get herself over. So there's only so much she can do beyond the company not utilizing their tools to give people a reason to care about her. Because even the matches she's booked in, they give them like fucking 6.5, 7 minutes. And they're like, yeah, go out there. Oh, but you're not winning, by the way. And
what do you think about this, Tommy?
You know,
I think that what's sad is the fact that Meechin can have a better match than your damn world champion. Prove me wrong on that.
That's okay.
I agree with him.
I don't.
Meechin has had better matches this year than Tiffany has had.
All right.
So I look at Meechin, I'm like, she's trying. She really is. They're not giving her anything whatsoever. She's stuck in catering for the majority of the damn year so far.
Tiffany's kind of a choke artist.
Yeah. But I look at this, I'm like, Meechin's better than Tiffany Stratton. And that is sad, knowing the fact that Tiffany's your world damn champion.
Meechin's wrestled longer. She's got more experience. Tiffany was pushed too fast and she's green. Meechin's not pushed at all and she's not green. She's a veteran. That's the problem. It's about presentation. And they present Tiffany as a big deal and they give Meechin shit. But if they had been giving Meechin the same presentation, they've been shoving down Tiffany Stratton's fucking cleavage line for fucking a year straight, Meechin would be over.
Okay. All right. Slow your roll there, Mr.
She would
Blood.
be. Tell
Tommy,
me, name one title match Tiffany Stratton hasn't fucking botched in, fucked up timing, or almost messed up this entire year. Name one.
Go ahead, Tommy. Finish your thoughts. We're running out of time.
The fact that I also do agree with Blood that I would have put this in place of Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella, because at least neither of them fucking did a kick that was 2 feet away from your damn opponent, and she still had to sell it. Because that is exactly what happened with Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch. That is exactly what happened. There was an entire move where she jumped off. And
okay, but we're not reviewing Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch.
Didn't happen or anything close with this Women's United States title. I do also agree that this thing should just flat out be dropped because it's not being defended. Neither is your damn world title, and your world title is supposed to be that prestigious title that everyone goes for. So that is a massive problem with SmackDown. They have a great tag team division. Awesome tag team division. It's great. The biggest issue is their women's division. It sucks ass right now. They do nothing with them. The majority of them are stuck in catering. Do something with your damn talent. Because them being stuck in catering is only going to make them worse and make them feel weaker.
Well, unfortunately, we had to end it on a really sour, negative note.
That's bullshit, because AJ Lee's still back.
Yeah, but we were off track because we started with the main event, and then we instead of starting from the beginning, but this match with Mia Chin and Julia was the third match of the final match of the night before the main event segment. But yeah, despite all the the negativity, I guess, from that came out of this match, SmackDown was still one of the biggest SmackDowns of the year. It was still really, really fucking good, I gotta say myself. But yeah, that was our SmackDown review for tonight with the Snug Wrestling Podcast. Mr. Blood, take us home, please.
Sir. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this amazing episode of Snug Wrestling. AJ Lee's back. Thanks for kicking it with us. We appreciate every single one of you tuning in. Don't forget, we are live every Monday and Friday night right after Raw and SmackDown go off the air on YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook for live post-show reviews. And as a bonus, for reaction content during the weekly WWE broadcasts on all of our social media. Then hang out with us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and the leader of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, that handsome Mexican over there, do our weekly one-on-ones where we dive into random wrestling topics and answer your fan questions live. So follow Snug Wrestling on all social media platforms, as well as on Apple and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And we didn't get our boy Toxic here tonight, but in honor of him, that's one time for the one time. That was 4 letters, one word.
Yeah.